Everyone, it's Libby from Maighstirtarot. Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Right, I'm going to use the Tarot Grand Lux, and what I want to have a look at, this is something my guides went last night at me, give in the light that the orange idiot who is trying to taco his way out, but I think he's not quite sure who he's dealing with, signing a nuke enrichment deal with the Saudis. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Well, I want to have a look at, have the Saudis been playing the long game? And as I split the deck, this one, the money, 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 absolutely shiny, goldy, blingy stuff. Is this Russia with the Empress, or is this the birth of something new? I don't think the orange idiot in the White House, and if you ask why I call him that, because he's an orange and he's an idiot, quite grasps who he's dealing with. You've got judgment coming up here. Again, that money card's still there because it was still on the bottom, but as I split the deck, you've got this big wake-up call, collective awakening, judgment moment. So allegedly, no, not even allegedly, he signed a deal in the White House the other day. Delusional that he was, with the Seven of Cups, pretty much promising the Saudis a investigation free. No, nobody's ever going to look here, have all our technology. We'll give it to you, blah, 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 in regards to nuke enrichment. Now, the claim was that it was for civilian purposes, but yeah, no, I'm not buying that, considering it takes, decades to build a nuclear facility. The Saudis don't need a nuclear facility. They've got plenty of sun in their neck of the woods and plenty of desert to put solar panels on, which they've been doing quite significantly, putting solar and wind on to generate energy. My vibe is this is purely, they signed this with the intention of getting nuke armaments. Okay, we've got the Two of Swords. The swords are uncrossed, can see through the veil, and it is very much the Knight of Coins, very much about the mercenary, the one paying the most money. Now, the reason why I'm asking, have they been playing the long game? I'm going back to 9/11. 2001, gosh, 25 years ago, and having a look at it. The alleged Saudi role in the September 11 attacks on Wikipedia. Now, I know anyone can enter stuff into Wikipedia, but there is a fair bit of evidence starting to emerge here if you put the dots together, and we are in a time of seeing and truth-telling. So reading this, in 2004, gee, I wonder who was president then. That wouldn't happen to be George W., who was illegally elected because his brother Jeb, first of all, provided the in Florida Dem heavy balloting papers, places were provided with faulty paper that created those hanging chads, even though the hole was very obviously punched. Oh, because there's a little bit of paper hanging, they won't be counted. But even then, Jeb, George W.'s brother, stopped the counting, and it was taken to the Supreme Court, where Thomas ruled that it was okay for the counting to stop, and he declared George W. as the winner. A recount that happened a couple of years later actually showed that Gore, even despite the hanging chads, so even though all those papers were put to the side with what were actual considered legitimate votes, Gore won Florida. So Gore should have been president. Of course, nobody took any notice because you guys were deep in a conflict in the US with Iraq at that time, allegedly because of the September 11 attacks. However, in 2004, under George W., a 9/11 commission found no evidence that the Saudi government, as an institution or senior Saudi officials, individually funded Al Qaeda to conspire in the attacks, or that it had funded the attackers at all. Oh, no, nothing happened. Now, in 2012, under Obama, different president, different administration, the FBI stated that it had evidence that the Saudi diplomat Fahad al-Thumari, I'm sure I've pronounced that wrong, but whatever, Saudi diplomat, a Saudi Ministry of Islamic Affairs official, and a radical cleric who served at King Fayed Mosque in Los Angeles, and another dude, a suspected Saudi government agent, had supported the 9/11 hijackers. In 2021, this would have been under Biden, the FBI stated that Omar al-Bayoumi was a Saudi intelligence agent that had ties to the 9/11 hijackers. In 2022, the FBI stated there was a 50-50 chance that al-Bayoumi had advanced knowledge that the attacks were to occur. So this is under the Democratic presidents and administrations. Evidence was found that the Saudis were very much behind the 9/11 attacks, but then pointed George W. at Iraq with the weapons of mass destruction and all that sort of carry on. Now, apparently on the day of 9/11, instant lockdown of the skies, but gee, shock horror, apparently there was one aeroplane that was permitted to fly out of the United States, and it contained members of the Saudi royal family. So I want to ask, there's a lot of information here, a lot of evidence, blah, 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 blah. But my big question is, and I think something like 11 of the 13 terrorists were Saudi citizens or something. That wasn't supposed to be found out. I want to ask, using the Tarot Grand Lux, were the Saudis playing the long game? They just needed to get a useful idiot into the office. George W. wasn't idiot enough. And then he lost out to Obama. He might have had a shred of decency, George W. Or was it because they didn't get Osama bin Laden in time? I just want to ask, were the Saudis, because you've got to remember, under the Orange Idiot's first regime, Kush got, what was it, $2 billion? What for? Nobody knows. There's been other payments since. What else has happened? I mean, there's a lot happened where there's been gifting. What else has happened? I mean, this is why the Orange Idiot was so upset and he believes he won 2020, because he was supposed to. It's just that the cheaters didn't turn the dial up quite far enough. There was such a overriding blue landslide for Obama that Obama got in. He wasn't supposed to, is my feel. It was supposed to be the Orange Idiot, and the Orange Idiot had been told that he would, and therefore he believed that he would, and therefore the fact that he didn't means that it was rigged and they cheated. And there's Bindi Dog coming for a visit. Okay, let's have a look. Have the Saudis because there was a lot that was to happen in the Orange Idiot's second term that never got to happen. And this is why it's going so fast at the moment, because he will not survive this term. So they're trying to get it all done before he falls off the twig, because there's no one to replace him. Vance has the charisma of a limp lettuce leaf left out in the sun, and Rubio's just, he's a snarly little thing, not liked. Okay, so with the Saudis, this signing, so of course now Taco's tacoed out, but I don't think he realises who he's actually playing game with. Oh, and also, so for Khashoggi, he was writing a investigative journalism. Remember what that was back in the day? Investigative journalist piece where he had a lot of information about Kushner ties to the Saudis, and that was going back. That's going back a long way. He had, I'm sure he's got it. Oh, someone must have that information. But the reason why it's all coming out now is because we are of a mindset to actually accept, because a lot of what we're seeing now has been out in the public sphere for decades. We just haven't been in a mindset. Yeah, we are in, there's that card again, uncharted waters, where the Constitution isn't being followed in the US, where we don't know who actually is an ally and who isn't. Hogarth was talking this morning about, oh yes, the US will hand over the tapes to the UK because otherwise there'll be diplomatic relations with an ally under strain. They don't care. They have no allies. They will throw anybody under the bus. We are in uncharted waters where it's every dog for himself at the moment. Actually, dogs are civilized compared to the slop. Every rat for themselves. So let's have a look, because what's happened now is the Orange Idiot he's playing all sides, is what I'm getting. He thinks he is smart enough to play all sides, and nobody knows that they're getting played. The Ruskies have such serious compromise on him. Oh gosh, talk about him, the bald one. The Emperor, fully exposed. Fully exposed, the Emperor, finding himself absolutely. So I'll just put those back randomly. He thinks he can play all sides and get away with it because that's how he used to do it. Oh, this electrician and this plumber, and with his development and stuff, he used to play the different companies, the subcontractors against each other, and then he just never paid anybody. Oh, the death card. Ending. It's all coming to an end. Absolutely. Under Pluto, it's all coming to an end. And look at the nose on it. Nose growing. The lies. The lies cannot be hidden any longer. And finding himself mentally restricted. I've always seen him striking out. I don't know how long he'll spend before he actually crosses over, but an ending is coming really rapidly where he will be trapped in his own body. That's the Eight of Swords there. He'll strike out, he'll be trapped, he'll have a period of time. Oh, goodness me, I wish it could be a long time, but I don't think it will be, where before he then goes to meet the Maker. Boy, oh boy, that's going to be a life review and a half, isn't it, with that Judgment card. So he's playing these figures off against each other, thinking he'll get away with it because he's so smart, like he used to in the old days. What was that? Three of Swords. Heart event, vascular event? Could be. Thinking that he could get away with it. He does not know who he's dealing with the Wheel of Fortune there. It's all going to come at him really quickly, and then you've got the regrets, the loss, regrets. Okay, let's have a look. Have the Saudis. So the Ruskies, they have shock and compromat. He's made promises to them that he hasn't kept. That's why the invasion of Ukraine happened when it did, because they were waiting as long as they could for the midterms for the Repub Congress to get in place so that the assistance for Ukraine could be blocked. So they held it because they were ready to go for months and months before they actually invaded, because they had been made promises and they were expecting the Orange Idiot to have the second term, which he didn't. And then pretty much they just couldn't hold the dam back anymore, and they got to the midterms, and then poof, they were in. It happened just before the midterms, but wasn't terribly long. They were in. So the Ruskies have compromat on him. However, he's now playing, so the Is Not Real has compromat on him. And again, there were promises made to, was the Yahoo. He's supposed to be flying in tonight. I'll be interested to see whether it's the real Yahoo. Chaos with his visit, perhaps, with that Chariot card. We could only wish that he'd be arrested. I don't know that will happen. A lot of information coming out, though. So from an unexpected quarter that will reveal hidden agendas. Four of Swords perhaps take him down due to contracts and agreements that he has not kept. And I notice that the Empress is the next one, the Rusky, or could be the birth of something new, revealing contracts and agreements that he has not kept. So the Is Not Real also have compromat on him. My vibe is that it's Ben Gerver that's in charge there at the moment. I don't know if the Yahoo is still around or not. There is an obvious body double who always has his head down like that, to try and stop the face footage. You'll notice the videos where he's in the office and stuff, has the head up, but the background, it's obviously an AI video. The Orange Idiot has not named him by name. I mean, they were bosom buddies visiting every 2 weeks prior to what happened in Persia, and then all of a sudden he stopped mentioning him by name. And I think weren't they in some live TV thing, and someone came in and whispered, and was it Besant's ear or one of those, and went white as a ghost, and then cancelled the meeting. Oh God, the Tower card. The Tower card, and then you have the false friend, and then you have the Death card. Is the Yahoo that is coming, is he going to bring destruction and death with him? Perhaps the false friend. Because the Orange Idiot, he thinks they're all his mates. And he thinks he's fooled them all. He's fooled nobody. So is that why? Okay, let's have a quick look. And then I'll have a look at the Saudis. Because he's just tacoed out on them. Thinking you got your cups all lined up in the row, but be careful what you wish for, because you end up having to surrender the plan to the guardrails that will hold. So apparently nobody's allowed enriched uranium processes, or theoretically allowed it, until such time as they sign this, independent international people will investigate type thing. You've got the Devil, and then you've got the Ten of Wands. So something was all hunky-dory until all of a sudden the international guardrails stuck in place, and all of a sudden this deal with the Devil The wheels have fallen off with that Ten of Wands. Can't get it home. So I want to have a look. Just put those back randomly. First of all, the Yahoo figure. What's he coming to do? Five of Swords. Deliver a very pointed message to the orange idiot. I think, and then okay, what's that one hiding there? Knight of Cups again, the false knight. Justice, the false victory, the false knight bringing forward an offer, and then the Ace of Swords. And then we've got the desperately trying to defend one's position, Starlink, the Four of Cups, not wanting to accept what that Knight of Cups is bringing, and then huge information about VOTES, ballots. I think the Yahoo figure is coming to, and as I split the deck, there's the Lovers card, contracts and agreements, some sort of agreement. What else is there? The Sun and the books, showing the books. I think the Yahoo figure, because why else would he come for Lindsay's memorial? Throwing under the bus? Anybody? Yeah, okay, apparently Lindsay was a friend of, but, see, to me it felt really odd. And it is a closed memorial, but what have we got? The Sun and the Moon card. Full exposure of something that was previously kept hidden. So I think what's happened is the orange idiot is playing all sides. The Ruskies versus the Is Not Real versus the Saudis, thinking that none, his latest decision is on whoever gives him the most money. Not thinking, because he never does, he thinks they're like his subcontractors back in the day when he ended up, oh, well, sue me. And, yeah, information about the ballots and the sort of truth again. So it's whoever the Yahoo figure is coming to deliver a message, Sword and Sun, Ace of Swords, Sun card, that all will be revealed if he doesn't do what they want. However, you then have the Ruskies going, hang on, you haven't fulfilled the promises that you made to us. Do not be surprised if he comes out with some order that they have, executive order that they have to buy oil from the Ruskies. I don't know that that will actually happen, but do not be surprised if it comes out, even if it's a thought fart or something that comes out on his social media. Oh, we're running out of oil, we'll have to buy it from the Ruskies. As he gets threatened from them. But the Saudis, they were playing the long game. Now, if they had nukes, it's alleged that Is Not Real has nukes too. But if the Saudis had nukes, they would be the dominant player in that entire region. They would own that region, pretty much. Ten of Swords, has been some overreach here. So I want to have a look. What are the Saudis going to do now that the wheels have fallen off? Okay, with the Saudis playing the long game, first of all, I just want to ask, with the Saudis playing the long game from 9/11 through to now, purely to get this nuke in armamentability? Let's have a look. Come on down. Sorry it's taken so long, and I saw that 2444. Actions having consequences, weighing the scales. playing the long game. Challenged by the page of coins. Oh, tower on the bottom. Wheels have fallen off it. Challenged by the page of swords. It is about money. But perhaps not enough. Okay, let's see where it goes. Yeah, the lying. 7 of Swords. The lying about this. Okay, thank you. They're telling me this was the agreement that the orange idiot made with them. And the energy they're stewing in is lies. Lies about the truth of pretty much everything. Holding on to the lies. Putting a couple of morsels out there to try and bait. But this is almost like a trap. So with the Saudis playing the long game, the 3 of Wands in the past, absolutely they were a plan that came to fruition. A sailing ship in the sky, that'd be an aeroplane, wouldn't it? A plan that came to fruition. Crowning the 3 and the Queen of Coins, Homeland Security. Okay, 9/11, Homeland Security. And this is about 10 of Coins coming to just putting the last coin in place. Ugh, yuck. I actually feel quite ill. The 2 of, and I have had lunch, so it's not that I've got an empty stomach. The 2 of Swords. The swords are uncrossed and the veil is thinning externally. It's not something that they could have gotten away with 20 years ago or in 2004 or something under Bush. If Bush had gone down that path, won't fly now. It won't fly. It's too obvious, and there are truths that are being seen through. The 8 of Cups in the internal, this is walking away. So this is the US, or just the fact that it was pointed out that they can't have them without signing this agreement, being forced to walk away. The 9 of Swords, the fear, the imagined fear in the hopes and fears. The outcome, regret. Again, they underestimated regret. 6 of Cups, so 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups can be about a gift from the past, something from the past that they were expecting reward for in the here and now. And then the 5 of Coins, the moral, ethical, financial corruption, but handing the money over in regards to corruption. And as I said, on the bottom, you've got the Tower and you've got the Chariot. The horses are all tangled up in the harness, trying to move forward. Wheels have fallen off of it. You got the 2 of Wands trying to come up with a plan to keep this going, but you've got the Moon and then you've got the World. They had their mercenary, the Knight of Coins, in the White House, but he's gaga. He's delusional with that 7 of Cups. He is crumbling under the weight of the expectations of him because he's been trying to play every side and none of them he can get to home. You've got the 5 of Swords. What have you got? 1, 2, 3 of the 5s in play here. And then you've got the Ace of Cups. This could be information about the agreements coming out, or this could just be an emotional overload and implosion. Yep. They played the long game and they did not work because they did not take into account that the orange idiot was in it purely for the money from whoever gave it to him. Manipulation, This is the oligarchs, the manipulation, the uncharted waters, and the Ace of Coins coming forward. It was all about the money. They thought they had him under control, but somebody had a bigger checkbook, and then they had to provide a bigger checkbook, and the Orange Idiot thought he would play all of them, and it's just the Saudis, yes. So the Saudis invested 48% into the Sniffy and Glue, and if you're wondering who Sniffy and Glue are, they're the two oldest sons of the Orange Idiot. 48% into their cryptocurrency, Liberty Finance or something. I think it was the Saudis. Was it the Saudis or the Ruskies that financed Fleon? And if you're wondering who Fleon is, old space boy who stole the Tesla patent. They funded him into Twitter. Apparently, they funded Ellison into whatever TikTok. So they got a lot of cash on the table. They're not getting back what they were promised. Eight of Swords, legally restricted, and strung up. Stop the Hanged Man. Okay, so all these parties that the Orange Idiot he hasn't been playing them against each other. He's just been agreeing, you pay me and I'll do what you want now. Tomorrow we'll do something else. Oh, you paid me. Okay, I'm going to say this. Oh, you paid me. Okay, I'm going to say that, which goes against that. Please. He's so incompetent, and thank goodness he is, because it's all been revealed. So what are the Saudis going to do about it? They have put some big money on the table, and they played a 25-year game to get to this point. What are they going to do about it? Right, you've got the Emperor on the bottom there, ending, 10 of Cups, ending, 10 of Swords, Ace of Wands, Page of Cups, information coming out from an unexpected quarter. What are they going to do about it? They threatening to downfall the Orange Idiot. Right, the Devil. You make a deal with the devil will demand his pound of flesh. They too have the goods. Remember on that red carpet, and it was in Saudi, and the supposed friend of the Orange Idiot, who was not a friend, from the New York development days, can't think of his name for the life of me, it always goes out of my head, came up and gave the Orange Idiot a couple of pieces of paper, and the idiot looked at them on camera on the red carpet in front of MBS, sorry, and the two of them laughed their heads off while all the blood drained from the Orange Idiot's face, and he rapidly shoved the pieces of paper in his pocket. It's that mentality of if I get rid of them, then they don't exist. They have so much compromat on him, and I'm feeling that Trigoff, is that who it was? I can't remember what his name was, the developer guy. The felon thought he was a friend, but they were just, no way were they friends at all. I got at the time, they were stills from video of the Orange Idiot doing something really ghastly to a young child. And MBS thought it was hilarious. You deal with the devil. At some stage, you will have to pay for it. They have the goods on him. Oh, that card kept showing itself, but I didn't show it to you, the Temperance card. Trying to find balance, trying to create alchemy. Make it happen. The Ace of Coins, the Knight of Swords, and the Magician. And the High Priestess, secrets being revealed, and the Seven of Swords, and the Sun card, and the Nightmare card with the Nine of Swords, and then the Minor Arcana Death card for me, the Four of Swords, which is more deathy than the Death card, because the Death card is more about endings and new beginnings. This is just endings, lying in state. Five of Pentacles, the moral, financial, ethical corruption, the harvesting of the money, Strength card, you owe us, you owe us, 10 of Pentacles. We've got 1, 2, 3 tens on the table here. This was the last puzzle piece that needed putting in, and you failed us with the Nine of Wands. Not happy. He failed them. But I think when it all gets revealed, he is, not only is he the narcissist. Apparently I posted a link in my post section to a video put out by Epistemic Crisis. He's brilliant, talking about the narcissist going off as rocker, in regards to the White House Correspondents' dinner, because nothing infuriates a narcissist more than being ignored. And because trust me, I was married to one a long time ago, and during the mediation, when we were getting divorced, instead of going through the courts to split everything up, they try and get to go through mediation first because it's a lot cheaper and doesn't tie the court system up. He would go rant, and I go, yeah, whatever. Like, as in, I wasn't giving in to him, I was just letting him rant and ignoring him, wasn't reacting. Oh man, could not cope with that at all. Well, this is absolutely infuriating him, blood pressure up. But imagine with this falling over, and you've got whoever this Yahoo body double figure, whoever it is, coming over and going, hang on, you owe us. And the Saudis going, hang on, you owe us. And the Ruskies going, hang on, you owe us. And all of a sudden, he's got to pay the pipers, and he can't. Chowser. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Oh, can't come soon enough. Cannot come soon enough. This guy should have been down for the count at least 18 months ago, where I kept getting vascular event, and all of a sudden the vascular event card stopped. He was missing for 10 days and the card stopped. So I'd say they did some quite major surgery, because apparently if they put a stent in, you're pretty much up and about the next day, couple of days, not 10 days. There was something pretty major that happened, maybe a bypass, I don't know. There was something fairly major happened. And then he had these moments, a couple of others right after the 4th of November, and back then, 24 was it? He went missing again for another week or 2 weeks or something. Again, major surgery. He should have been off this twig 18 months ago. Except that modern medicine and experimental drugs However, he's now on the experimental drug stage, has been since March, April. And there's a reason why they're experimental. And knowing from experience with my mother-in-law who passed away 17 years ago now, something like that, every drug that she would take would have a side effect, so she would have to have a drug for that side effect that would then have a side effect, and it just, before you know it, it gets out of control. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Okay, tomorrow is my Wednesday. Spotty starts on his the drugs to like really chill him out and calm him down, because he gets quite stressed when the vet comes to visit. He gosh, I mean, they have long memories. 12 years ago, something like that, he cut the inside of his mouth when he was playing stick with Bindi and got rushed in for emergency surgery, and he's been terrified of the vet ever since. And even the home visit vet, he must be the smell or something like that, he knows. So he starts tomorrow on his de-stress drugs tomorrow morning, so it'll be tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, and Thursday morning, and then just after lunch on Thursday, and then later that afternoon the vet is coming to send him on over to spend some time with Sneaks and Mush. Mush being my Keeshond German Shepherd cross that Sneaks is the bridge between the two of them. She knew both dogs, and they will just have the most amazing time. And it is a full moon that night too, so hoo-wee! Okay, so I may or may not be on tomorrow. Do not be surprised if I go missing in action until next week. But if there is news, there is news, and I will be back. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.